She smirked, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Don't you know how to count?" Loud enough for everyone to hear. And right there, something inside me snapped. Because sometimes, the quiet kid you think won't fight back is the one who finally breaks your mask in front of everyone. This is the story of how one smug class rep learned, the hard way, that kindness isn't weakness. If you've ever had to deal with that one person who talks down to you, belittles you, or makes you feel small, this story's for you. So grab a drink, settle in, and hit that like button, because this is one of those revenge moments that's not elegant, not planned, but deeply, deeply satisfying. When I first met her, she seemed harmless. The kind of person who always had something to say. Confident, sharp-tongued, always in control. Let's call her Clara. She was our class rep, top of the prep course, always talking to teachers like she was one of them. And me. I was just trying to keep my head down. Focus on grades, mind my own business. But people like Clara, they can smell humility like sharks smell blood. It started small. "Oh, that's an easy question, you should already know that," she'd whisper after I'd ask something in class. Then came the laughs. Eye rolls. The little jokes she'd throw around when people were watching. At first I told myself, ignore it, it's not worth it. But day after day it chipped away. You know that feeling, when someone keeps poking at you and everyone around you acts like it's normal. You start to question if maybe you're the problem. I'd come home, lie on my bed, and replay her voice in my head. That mocking tone. Fake smile. The way she'd tilt her head when she was about to drop another passive-aggressive comment. And every time I'd think, why me? What did I even do? Weeks went by. Our teacher assigned us into project groups. And guess who I got stuck with? Clara. I remember the first group meeting. Her sitting cross-legged, tapping her pen against her notebook, pretending to organize us. But really, she just dismissed every idea I had. When I suggested something, she'd glance at me and say, "Maybe let the people who actually understand the topic decide." The rest of the group laughed awkwardly. Not because it was funny, but because no one wanted to be her next target. And I just took it. Because what could I do? Fighting back felt like stooping to her level. But inside, a quiet kind of anger was growing, the kind that doesn't shout but waits. Then came that day. The teacher decided to change the seating arrangement for our class. We were all buzzing around, picking up our books, trying to figure out where to sit. Clara was standing near the middle row, acting like she owned the place, of course. So I walked up to her politely, genuinely politely, and said, "Hey, Clara, what seat number do you have?" She looked up from her phone, gave me that slow, venomous smirk, and said, loud enough for the entire room to hear, "The chairs are right there. Count them. Don't you know how to count?" Laughter. Couple of gasps. Even the teacher froze for a second. And something inside me just snapped. I'd spent months swallowing her little barbs, trying to be the bigger person. But in that moment, with everyone staring, I felt the heat rise in my chest. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From fury. I took a breath, looked her dead in the eye and said, "You fking stupid bitte. I asked what number you had, not if I know how to count." The room went dead silent. For a split second, she didn't even know how to react. Her eyes widened. That perfect, shocked silence when a bully realizes you've broken their script. Then, as if on cue, she stormed out of the room, tears already forming, yelling, "I'm telling the teacher. You can't talk to me like that." Everyone just watched. Half in disbelief, half in awe. Now here's the twist. She ran to the teacher sobbing, the classic "I'm the victim" act. You know the one, crocodile tears, shaky voice, the works. But what she didn't know was that the teacher had already had enough of her. Apparently, Clara had been on thin ice for weeks. Complaints from other students, reports of her belittling people, acting superior. So when she came crying, expecting sympathy, the teacher looked at her and said, "Clara, I think it's time we had a serious talk about your behavior." Her jaw dropped. She tried to spin it, saying I had exploded out of nowhere, that I was unstable, that I'd been harassing her all semester. But the teacher wasn't buying it. One by one, other classmates started speaking up. Actually, she's been like that for a while. Yeah, she always mocks people. I'm glad someone finally said something. You could see it, the mask cracking. That confident smirk gone, replaced by this stunned, humiliated silence. The teacher reported her behavior to administration. She got officially reprimanded. And me? I just sat there calm. My heart was still pounding, but there was this strange, peaceful satisfaction washing over me. Because for once, I hadn't been silent. Later that day, when I told my mom what happened, she didn't scold me. She just raised an eyebrow, smirked, and said, "Honestly, I would have said worse." And that's when it hit me. I wasn't the villain here. Clara had spent months trying to make me feel small, powerless, stupid. But when I finally stood up for myself, the world didn't end. If anything, it finally balanced. A bunch of classmates came up to me after class. People I barely talked to. "Hey, that was awesome. She totally had it coming. I wish I had the guts to do that." Their words didn't erase everything she'd done, but they felt like justice. Like maybe, for once, karma worked on time. Clara didn't speak to me after that. Not once. She avoided eye contact, stopped volunteering for class rep stuff, and, I swear, even the air around her changed. That superiority she wore like armor. Gone. And I didn't gloat. I didn't rub it in. Because true revenge isn't about making someone hurt the way you did. It's about reclaiming your peace. When I looked at her sitting quietly in class, trying not to draw attention, I didn't feel hate anymore. Just relief. She'd finally learned what respect felt like, when it's been taken from you, and you realize too late how much it mattered. I won't pretend it was graceful. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't pretty. And maybe it wasn't the most mature way to handle it. But when someone's been pushing you for months, sometimes the only thing they understand is the sound of you pushing back. Not proud, but satisfied. 10 out of 10. If you've ever dealt with someone who made you feel small, this story's for you. Because standing up for yourself isn't cruelty. It's clarity. Hit that like button if you've ever wanted to say what I said. Drop your own karma stories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Because sometimes the quietest revenge stories are the loudest lessons.